welcome back to Glow Up with Shelly. In today's video, we're going to be talking about skincare transformation. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my own skin transformation, and I'm going to give you the 8 rules of total skin transformation. So remember, this channel is all about glowing up, transformative skincare, makeup that's flawless, and a lifestyle to match. If that sounds like something that resonates with you, hit subscribe. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you can be informed when I post future videos. Okay, so let's get started. I want to tell you a little bit about my own skincare transformation. When I was in my 20s, I didn't take care of my skin at all. And when I say I didn't take care of my skin, I mean I just did not take care of my skin. It was horrible. I had severe acne. I had broken out all along my cheek areas, like right along here, at my chin, around my nose. That's really kind of where the center of my acne was, like in the most oily parts of my skin. I have super oily skin, and I always thought, well, I shouldn't like hydrate more, right? Because my skin's already oily. I would often go to bed without my makeup on, or I would go to bed with my makeup on. I would often not wash it properly. I didn't use the right skincare products. I didn't have a daily moisturizer. So I hit about the age of 35, and it definitely, by the time I hit 35, you could definitely see just how bad my skin had gotten. So here's a picture. I think I was probably maybe 34, 35, something along those lines. You can see just how bad my skin had gotten. You can see that I had some dullness to my skin. It definitely, the texture was not good. I had pretty bad acne scarring at that point. I knew that something had to change, and something had to change quickly. It was probably around the age of 35, and here's another picture of me. I just want to kind of give you an idea of just how bad my skin had gotten and how much different it is today versus what it was even 10 years ago. So this next picture kind of shows just how red my skin had gotten, how blotchy, dull, and just really badly textured my skin was. I didn't have smooth skin. I didn't have, my skin wasn't tight. It was starting to get loose. That does happen with age, but I didn't really know how to deal with it at the time. So I just kind of let it go. I knew that I had to start hydrating, so I did start that a little bit. Probably in my early 30s, I started introducing some skincare. It was a lot of drugstore skincare. I think I started using Olay, I think by the age of 31, 32, which Olay is a great product. I'm not dissuading anyone from using Olay. It definitely helped with my skin. Like I said though, my skin was not anywhere near what it is today. But it took a long time for me to, it took a while for me to get there, and I had to learn a lot. So over the years, I started learning as much as I could about skincare and just implementing some of the strategies that I was learning at the time in order to make changes to my own skin. And I started doing a little bit of microneedling, using a little bit of red light therapy. This was all in my mid-30s. But I really still didn't understand skin and how to really transform my skincare. So I remember one time I was probably like, I would say I was 35, and I pulled down the little mirror in your car, you know, when you you flap down the little thing, the sun blocker, and then you pull the mirror up, right? And I looked at my skin, and the sunlight was coming through the windows, and it was just at a really bad angle. And I saw just how bad my skin had gotten. I saw all the pock marks on the side of my skin, how big my pores had gotten, the uneven texture of my skin, and I flipped. I started crying. I was like, I can't do this. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting older. This is just nothing I do is working. And so I set it out. At that day, I set out, my mission was I was going to repair my skin at all costs. And by the time I was about 40, that's when I started really kind of understanding, learning enough to kind of implement some of the strategies that I know today definitely work as far as changing your skin. So fast forward, and here I am 10 years later, right? I'm 46. And so here you can see a picture of me now, and you can see the difference that my skin has. My skin is tighter. It's definitely a lot tighter around my face in general. It's not quite as loose as it was at that time. I still do have skin issues, right? I still have some scarring that's left that I'm dealing with, and I get treatments for that. Like I do microneedling treatments every 3 to 6 months, and that does help tremendously with some of my acne scarring, and it's almost gone now today, but it's taken me a while to get there. And that's the thing about skincare and about changing your skin. If you want total skin transformation, it doesn't happen overnight, and it really does. The amount that you can transform depends on how much sun damage you have, what your problem areas are, what you want to change, and what's really physically possible to change with skincare, and then what other procedures that you need to introduce in order to make remarkable changes. So I have come up with 8 rules of total skincare transformation, and these are kind of the 8 rules that I've lived by myself over the last 10 years, and they're the rules that I believe, right, lead to actual skincare transformation. But it's not something, like I said, that happens overnight. It took me probably from the age I started really investing in skincare about 41. So here I am at 46, so about 5 years. I can definitely see the changes, and I've seen the changes over those 5 years happen. Like changes would happen at the 1 year mark, changes would happen at the 2 year mark, the 3 year mark, the 4 year mark, and so on. So it's not like, oh, you have to wait a whole 5 years before your skin can really see any changes. You are doing, when you're making a transformative change in your skincare, you're kind of doing twofold. You're not only stopping further damage from being done, right? But you're also changing the damage that you've done up to that point, right? So the ideal would be preventative, right? You start in your early 30s, you employ all these wonderful products, and you don't have to worry about some of the issues that people get in their, mid to late 30s. But right, if you were like me and you let your skin go for many years, you've got to kind of undo the damage as well as prevent any further damage from happening. So we're going to talk a little bit about what it takes to get to that point. Like, how can you transform your skin from the damage that you've done previously, but also prevent any further skin damage from happening. Okay, so let's go into rule number 1. So I do have some rules. I don't believe in products, okay? I believe in ingredients. So the first rule is ingredients over products. Do not buy into that, I have to buy this skincare product or I have to use this specific brand. I don't live by a brand. Ingredients are gonna make a difference, right? You want to have certain products in your skincare arsenal, right? You wanna have those products that boost collagen. You wanna have products that help with fine lines and wrinkles. You want to have products that work with transforming skin texture and firmness, and so there's a whole host of different kinds of products, and that's something that I talk about a lot in my videos, is finding those right ingredients, right? I use Matrixyl because Matrixyl is a collagen booster, and I use glycolic acid a few times a week because that is going to help with firmness and elasticity and introduces additional collagen boosting into my skincare. I use niacinamide because it helps with texture and tone and brightening my skin. So these are all ingredients, and you can buy niacinamide from many different brands. The niacinamide I use is ordinary niacinamide. It's a very good niacinamide, and it's a super cheap niacinamide. But you can buy ones that are, you know, more expensive if you'd like. So it's really all about ingredients. That's the first step. The first rule, I should say. The second rule is consistency. You won't see major skin changes unless you use your skincare consistently. That means you have a morning routine and you have an evening routine. And you're taking your makeup off. If you do wear makeup, you're taking your makeup off, and you are, right, then doing your skincare at night. You're waking up in the morning, you're washing the skincare off, and you're doing it again before you put on your makeup, if that's what you do, or before you put on your sunscreen. Right? Consistency is huge. I think I've maybe missed 1, maybe 2 PM routines in 5 years. So when I say consistent, I mean consistent. With skincare, if you are consistent, you will make changes. My skin was not very tight at all against my face. People are constantly asking me that knew me pre-COVID, that, you know, knew me, talk to me on a daily basis. Sometimes they don't even recognize me when they first see me, because my skin has changed so much that it's literally transformed the way I look, believe it or not. So if you have that kind of consistency, that level of consistency, you will make those changes in your skin, right? But it takes the ingredients and it takes that consistency. And people always ask me to this day, like people who've known me before, like, what have you done? What are you doing that's making such a huge difference? And it's that I focus a lot on making sure that my skin is in peak condition, right? I use those products and I use those ingredients that are really going to put the hydration and moisture back into my skin, that has made remarkable changes in the structure of my skin, and it has made my face look different. So that is the second rule, consistency. You have to be consistent with your skincare. Anything that you do, if you don't do it consistently, is not going to work in the long run. The third thing is to focus on your skin barrier. You do not want to deplete your barrier. So you really want to make sure that you are using products that are going to reinforce your skin barrier. And if you have any sensitivity or rawness, any feelings of rawness, you immediately start taking those actives back out and you start working on repairing that skin barrier. So using things like ceramides, urea, anything, lipids, anything that really kind of puts that moisture back into your skin barrier is going to be huge, right? You don't want to ever damage your skin barrier. And so I'm going to do an entire video on how to, you know, read your skin for skin barrier issues, and then what to do if your skin barrier is compromised. Probably the first couple of years of my really trying to do this whole skincare thing, I really didn't focus on my skin barrier. I had a lot of, even though my skin was making some changes, I had a lot of redness and a lot of skin barrier issues, and I don't have those at all anymore, and I can see the change in my skin from it. My skin texture when I don't wear makeup is much more even. I don't have near the redness. Now, redness is an issue that people who have pale skin like me are always going to run into. I do have still have some redness around the nose. My nose itself can get very red. But I focus a lot on my skin barrier and making sure that my skin barrier is not compromised ever. The fourth rule, right, number 4, is to exfoliate, right? You have to exfoliate twice a week at least. You could probably go to 3 times a week. I really do a good exfoliation twice a week, but that's because I use a lactic or glycolic acid a couple of more times a week. I use it probably a couple of times a week in my nightly routine. And because of that, I don't need to exfoliate more than 2 times a week, right? I don't want to destroy my skin barrier, but you've got to get those dead skin cells. You have to get them off. And that's going to brighten your skin. It's going to allow for better cell turnover. It's going to promote the production of more collagen and all of those, and lead to more firmness and elasticity in your skin, which is kind of what you're looking for, right? So when I talk about my own skincare transformation, right, replacing that elastin and collagen production has been vital, because that's going to lead to firmer skin. It's going to have, your skin is going to be tighter against your bone structure, and it's just going to look, you're going to look more chiseled, more sculpted, and just much more, it's going to make your skin look better in general, right? Because you look more chiseled and more sculpted, because that skin is much firmer and tighter against your bone structure. So definitely exfoliate twice a week. You can use, there are wonderful exfoliants that are low cost exfoliants. There's exfoliants that are a little bit higher cost. The exfoliants that I use the Ordinary's AHA BHA peeling solution, and that actually has salicylic acid in it. That's the BHA. The AHA is glycolic acid. There's some lactic acid in there. There's some tartaric acid, and there's some citric acid. So and those are all AHAs. So it is a kind of an amalgamation of different acids, alpha hydroxy acids, to exfoliate your skin. It's a wonderful peel. I also use a glycolic acid peel by number 7. That's the Peter Thomas Roth 21 peptide exfoliating pads is another one that I use as well. And then I do have a variety of masks and peels, and I try to do those 2 times a week to exfoliate. I really prefer chemical peels over physical peels. I used to be really into physical peels, and I've kind of stopped using them now. Studies have proven that chemical peels are just much better for the skin. They remove layers much more evenly. It's much more of a uniform peel. It just tends to be better. I used to do a lot of microdermabrasion. I don't necessarily do that as much. I will be putting out a video on different exfoliating methods and kind of my experience with different exfoliations and what I prefer and so on. So that is the 4th step, to exfoliate 2 times a week. So the 5th rule, what's the 5th rule? It is actives. Actives. So what are actives? Those are all those skincare, actives that are going to make a change to your skin. So there's a lot of different skincare actives depending on what you're really looking for. So if you have oily skin, you're gonna want something that balances out sebum. If you have drier skin, you're gonna wanna put that hydration back into your skin. Oil balance may not be an issue with you if you do have dry skin, so you might not need something like a niacinamide. You might want to put in an active that, boosts collagen, like Matrixyl. You may want to put in an active that supposedly helps relax some of the fine lines and wrinkles, dynamic wrinkles. So something like arginine would be something that you could use. I always think that you should have certain key actives. One active that I'm really getting into a lot, right, is EGF serum. I think everyone should have a Matrixyl in their skincare. You should have some peptides in there. Definitely a few times a week you should have an AHA in there. So you're looking for things that are going to make changes to your skin, going to reduce fine lines and wrinkles, going to increase collagen production, going to increase elasticity in your skin, smooth it out, help with brightness. You could introduce an active like a vitamin C. So all of these things are going to make changes in your skin. And I have heard people on skincare forums talk about, oh, well, you should only have one active at a time. Let me tell you something. I have used multiple actives for 5 years and my skin has made remarkable changes. The amount of actives that you use is okay. Like you can use more than 2 or 3 actives. It's okay. The best rule of thumb when you're using actives, let them dry down for a second, then put the next one on. Honestly, the smaller molecules are going to get in there first no matter what. You're kind of putting it all over your face. You're rubbing it. It's not like it's going on just on top of the other one. It's going to stay there. You're really moving it around anyway. So a lot of skincare products have multiple actives in them. That's another thing that you can look for. Something that has niacinamide and matrixyl and the peptides is going to be good, right? Because you only need that one product. But again, stop looking at products. Make sure you're looking at ingredients, right? And you're looking at the concentration levels that are in particular serums, right? So that you know that you're getting enough of that active to make those skin changes. And you'll know within 30 to 60 days is really when your skincare starts to show changes in your skin. Okay, so right, that 5th one is actives. What is the 6th one? It is collagen boosting, right? You want to have those things in your life and in your skin that are going to boost collagen. So I say definitely taking supplements are going to boost your collagen levels. So I take collagen, I take turmeric with pepin, right? Because you want to have the pepper in with the turmeric. The curcumin is what it really is. That's the active in turmeric that's going to make changes to your skin is the curcumin. And I do use that with, and I take a curcumin turmeric supplement with pepin. And pepin is the stuff in pepper that really makes it makes you absorb the turmeric much more easily. So things like that, a multivitamin, definitely introducing things like matrixyl, EGF serums, anything that's glycolic acids, lactic acids, things that are going to boost collagen in your skin. That is the key. Okay, so what's the 7th rule? Hydration, 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 right? You need to be hydrating, and not just your skin hydration, but also your hydration. So you should be drinking your water every day. And when I mean drinking your water, make sure that you get that amount of water, make sure you get your 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. Make sure that you're hydrating internally and you're hydrating externally. So how are you hydrating externally? Using a toner, right? A hydration toner right before you start your skincare. Something with urea in it. I have a wonderful urea toner that I use. It's not too expensive. It's a fabulous toner. It hydrates my skin immediately the minute I put it on after I get out of the shower. I just absolutely love it. So keeping that hydration in your skin is going to be key, right? Internally and externally. Using a final moisture, right? Moisturizer that has ceramides in it and lipids and things that are going to restore your natural skin barrier. All of those things, you want to hydrate your skin as much as possible. Keep that hydration on there because that hydration is going to be key to making those changes in your skin. And then what's the 8th and final rule? Lifestyle, right? Lifestyle. So making sure that you are not eating too many processed foods. So making sure that you're eating plenty of fruits and vegetables. Making sure that you're getting plenty of water. Making sure that you're not, that you're wearing sunscreen when you go outside, because you don't want to get more photo damage, right? And when you're doing so many wonderful things for your skin, you don't want to go outside and get photo damage. So making sure that you have that SPF on your skin is going to be vital to not only repairing the damage that you have, but also keeping further damage from, happening to your skin at the time. So you want to make sure you do that. Another thing is smoking. Like, be careful with smoking. It does do a lot of damage to the skin. And so if you're smoking, cut back or even quitting would be a good option, because it does tend to lead to more fine lines and wrinkles, unfortunately. It also leads to skin tone and texture problems. So that's going to be an issue as well. And then another lifestyle change is making sure that you're getting plenty of exercise. Exercise is really good for your skin. It boosts the immune system. It pumps up that vitamin C in your body. It sends DNA repair signals to your DNA, so that's going to help as well. Exercise is just really good for your pores. It opens your pores up. It just does wonderful things for your body. And so exercise is definitely also a key. I am not always as good as I should be with exercise. I do try to exercise daily. I try to get walking in or running. I'm a runner, so I love to run. And I don't get to do it as often as I would love to, right? Because I live in Oklahoma and the weather's not always perfect. And when you run outside, you want the weather to be beautiful. And so I have a tendency to end up having to use my workout room more than I'd like to, as far as, and running on a treadmill is just not as fun as running outside. I mean, let's just face it. It's just so much better to run outside. So, but I do get a lot of walks in, and I do get some yoga and Pilates and stuff like that. So just getting that daily exercise is going to be super beneficial for your skin. Another thing is drinking alcohol. Overconsumption of alcohol is not good for your skin in so many different ways. And don't get me wrong, I love a glass of wine. I am definitely I'm definitely a wine person. I do like different kinds of wines, but I limit myself when I'm drinking wine myself. I'll have one glass, at most two, and then I make sure that that's, if I do have two glasses, that's all I've had for the week. So I really do limit my alcohol consumption. Alcohol is really terrible for the skin. It can cause acne, it can cause uneven texture, it can cause puffiness in the skin, especially in the mid-face. It can cause puffiness around the eyes, it can cause dark circles. So too much alcohol, and I'm saying, and here when I'm talking about alcohol causing, I'm talking about overconsumption of alcohol, not just your normal 1 or 2 glasses here and there. I'm talking about really you're going out and you're drinking pretty hard 2-3 times a week, right? Does kind of wreak some damage on your skin. So you have to be careful with that and be aware of what damage that can do to your skin. So lifestyle is super important, right? So that is the 8th rule, lifestyle. So I did transform my skin, and I transformed it quite a bit. I definitely do have some treatments done. I don't have a lot. I have had no filler in my cheeks. I do have a little bit of Botox that I put in my forehead to help with my 11s, and I do have a little bit of lip filler. But other than that, I have I've had no major surgeries, and I've had nothing other than that done to myself. But I do get a lot of people who think, oh, she's had Botox, she's had fillers, she's had this, she's had that. Because they see me and my skin is so different, my face looks different. And it really isn't these major things that I've done. It's all mainly been skincare. I have focused on my skin for many years, and I've done it consistently, and that is really the key, right? You're not going to make those transformations unless you make sure that you do it consistently and that you're really focusing on those things that are going to make changes in your skin. You can do it though. Anyone can transform their skin. It just takes following these 8 simple rules to do it. So those are my 8 rules of total skin transformation. So remember, ingredients, consistency, focus on the skin barrier, exfoliate, 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 introduce actives, stay hydrated, and have a lifestyle that matches. Okay, hopefully you like this video, and don't forget to hit subscribe, don't forget to hit like if you did, and also ring that notification bell because I will be putting out new videos. So see you later.